Welcome to Deco Guide, the only app designed to help you navigate your college and career journey in the quickest and most affordable way. This podcast is brought to you by EdTechity, dedicated to opening doors to higher education and career opportunities for all.
What's up, everyone? I'm Professor G, and in today's College Basics podcast, I'm going to go over how much a California community college costs in terms of fees, and then I'm going to wrap it up with a true story about a student who had trouble with their fees. So, in a nutshell, all 116 California community colleges have two types of fees. One of them is for California residents, and that's about $46 per unit. So for every class you take, you're going to pay $46 for every unit that class is worth. So let me give you an example. If you want to be a full-time student, you're taking about 12 units per semester, which is about 4 classes. Your California resident will pay about $550 in fees. We also have what's called California non-residents, and these are people who are like international students, students who don't qualify as a California resident, meaning they just moved here from another state or from another country, etc. Those students are non-residents in the system, and those students will be charged $350 per unit. So a student taking 12 units that's non-resident, taking about 4 classes, that student is going to get charged about $4,200 for their enrollment fees. There are other small fees that the colleges charge every semester. Some colleges charge health fees, student government fees, bus or public transportation fees, because they may provide a discount to all students at their district. I know my district does that, but some don't. In a nutshell, all these other miscellaneous fees usually run anywhere from $60 to $80 maximum per semester of just additional fees other than your class fees. And now let's jump into that true story, right? So a couple years ago, I had a student who was born and raised in California, fell in love, moved to Texas. 5 years later, didn't work out. So now he's moving back to California. So he wanted to start college. And when he registered for classes for 12 units, he got a bill for $4,200. Luckily, he came in to talk to a counselor. So I ended up talking to him, kind of figured out that he had some California history, right? He was born and raised in Cali. So we talked about his high school experience, etc. And we figured out that this particular student who was born and raised in California, moved to Texas, lost his California resident, now is a Texas resident, shows back up in California. We were able to submit what's called a California non-resident tuition exemption form. And what that form does, it allows students who have completed at least 3 years of a California high school and graduated from any California high school to automatically qualify for California resident fees, not only for the community college, but also for the CSU and UC. And so after submitting this form and showing us a high school transcript showing that he did more than 3 years in a California high school and graduated from a California high school, we were able to reduce this student's fees from $4,200 to a California resident fees of 12 units, which is $46 times 12, about $550. So he went from $4,200 to $550. But now that he was a California resident, he could also submit what's called a California Promise Grant. And since he qualified based on his income, his fees were reduced to $0. And so for the fall semester, when he came back, he basically paid $0 in tuition fees, and he only took care of the other miscellaneous fees, like the $60 of all those other fees I explained earlier. And so this kind of stuff happens all the time. So if you're ever in doubt, go see a counselor and talk to him. Make your appointments, go in there and chat with them. If you're having trouble finding a counselor, just go ahead and go to admissions and records and talk to one of the clerks there, and maybe the director, to kind of see if you may qualify for California resident fees, just in case you were tagged as a non-resident, because it does happen quite often. So to recap, California residents pay $46 per unit to enroll in classes at a California community college, and non-residents pay $350 per unit. But really, don't let all those fees scare you off, because there are lots of financial aid programs available. So check out our other podcast titled Financial Aid Basics to learn more basically on how to pay as little as possible to earn your college degree. Until next time, keep studying hard, and I'll see you at graduation.
Thank you for tuning into Techo Guide, the app focused on bringing you tools and content to help you make better decisions about school, life, and career. We hope this episode has inspired you to pursue and excel in your own educational and career journey. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, and share.